Joy. How are you doing today? I have a super fun project to share featuring products from makerforte and an easy Copic scene. I chose to use the Take Care Teddy Bear stamp set, which was a collaboration between makerforte and Rose Roo. I love this little guy. I think he's adorable, and I think you're going to as well. So I started out by stamping the images in Eclipse black ink because it is compatible with Copic markers, and that's important to me, obviously, because that's what my project is about today. That and this ink is super dark and crisp, and that makes my heart happy. So I did the honey drip first, and then I lined up the cute little bear so that his paw would be right at the tip of the honey, just so it would look like he was hanging from that. So I am using hammer mill paper because that is my favorite paper to Copic color on. But if you would choose to use colored pencils or watercolor or any type of water brush marker, you could change it out for whichever you like. The one thing about the Eclipse ink that I like is once it's completely dry, I would even say heat set it. You can watercolor with it too, so that's pretty fabulous. So I go in starting with the honey to color it. And you see that I had stamped the bee as well. And I use the same colors for the bee as I do the honey. My go-to colors for golds is an E23 and a Y26 being my, I guess, scary darks. And it looks, like I said, scary, and I leave a lot of bounce room, like towards the tips of the honey and around the curves. And what that means, I leave white space so it gives that illusion that there's light. So that's just a tip when you're doing golds or when you're trying to get, something looks shiny like honey. So then, in addition to that, I use Y11, Y15, and 19. So Y15 would be my mid-tone, so that is the color that you're going to see the most, and that is what I blend with. Typically when I color, I do go over my process twice. So I think I left some of that out just for the sake of saving time. And like I told you, for the bee, I use the exact same colors, leaving out the Y26. I just put a dab of the E23 in there just to give him contrast. Now for the teddy bear, I am using the E40 family, so E41, 42, 43, 44, and 49. My 47 was dry, dead, so I kind of had to really work to blend the 44 to the 49. But what I do is I sort of map out where I want my shadows to be with this E41 or 42, and then I come in with this E49, and I go like under the, what would be the chin, and I would do the under part of the belly, and I would do the right side of the legs, and then right at the crease of the arm. But you've noticed, again, I used that bounce back by leaving a little bit of white, and that just gives you the realism that there's like a light source. Now, this is where the scene comes in that I start drawing. I always use a super sharp mechanical pencil, and I lightly sketch in where I want my tree or where I want my things. And then I come in with my very lightest color. And usually for me, that's like an E50 because most colors will go right on top of it and you would never know it was there. I also, for my hillside or my grass, did the same thing with a YG01. Okay? So another thing, when you put down pencil and you color over it with Copics, you will trap that pencil in there, so you want to make sure that you go over it with a really dark color, or you lightly erase it so you see some of the lines just so it blends in. So I put down my color, and then I went down with an E, I think it was the 53, and I just sloppily put down the colors. And then with the 55 and 57, I started drawing dashes to get the texture of the tree bark. And I put some knots in there, just to make it look like a tree. And then I took the stamps and I left that out of the individual leaves, and I stamped those with the Eclipse black ink as well. And then I am coloring my leaves with YG01, 03, 17, 67. That is usually my go-to green color. I don't know what it is. I love that combination, and you'll see it repetitively on my channel. Now for the grass, I just worked through starting with a YG03, leaving a little bit of the 01 showing at the top, and then I blended in the 17 and the 67. And then I very messily start drawing flicks, and I do it in all of the colors because I'm trying to get texture. And then I will go back in with a 17 and a 03, and I will blend, and then you'll see me repeat again. Go in and add more texture. Now, a key with grass or any type of landscape is you need contrasting colors to get the shadows and to get a realism. So I come in with a G46, which is extremely dark, and a BV 25 and 29, which is super dark, kind of a gray, but it gives a good contrast. Anytime you add like a bluish color to these vibrant greens, it just makes things pop. Now to create the sky, I come in with Color Hive ink in the color Icy Mist, and I stipple this on. The key with clouds is you leave a lot of white space. So your sky is what's blue, right? So if you just stipple it on lightly, you will get a lot of white space and get the realism of it. Now, with these dye inks, they go on kind of blotchy, but they dry back, okay? Then I came in and I stamped with, using my Misty platform, the Oh Hi Honey sentiment. And then I heat embossed that as well, just because I notoriously smear things if I use a pigment ink. So the other thing that I think is key to coloring with any medium is coming in with white highlights. In this case, I am using a white gel pen. If I was coloring with color pencils, I would use a white pencil. You could actually use pencils on top of your Copic coloring as well. I just prefer the starkness of a gel pen. It doesn't really matter which one you use. Here I'm using a Uniball because it was on my desk. I even go in and put little dots on the bee. I do it on the bear's belly. I do it on his forehead. And then I even go in with the grass and I start putting little dots in. And what the dots do is it adds interest at the bottom. It gives an illusion that there are flowers or plants there, but there's not a whole lot that goes in it. So this is super easy. Then I come in with some wet glue after trimming my panel down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I mount that on Eclipse cardstock. And then from there, I use I believe it's A2 top folding perfect score card, and I score that with a bone folder on both sides just to get it crisp. Now what you're seeing is I folded the card inside out, and I just put something protective over my mouse pad and my in my Misty, because my Misty mouse pad is dirty and I didn't want the inside of the card to have smudges on it. So I go in and I stamp the honey drip at the top, and then I cut a little piece from the Honey Bees and Bears paper pack, and I used the honeycomb, and it was about a 1/2 inch strip, and I angled it down. And then I went in and stamped the little bear's head and heat embossed him so it looks like he is peeking out from above the little bar. And I just think it's a cute way to decorate the inside. And then another way to get your cards to go together easy is to apply the glue to your card base, and then put your focal point on it. So that's something I've learned because I struggle with that. I added some iridescent clear gems to just add some sparkle. And I think that's what I'm showing you here. So if you like this card and you like the tips and tricks that I have shared, I would love for you to like and subscribe to the channel. I love hearing your comments. I'd love to know what you think. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. And again, this is a Rose Roo collaboration. It's a super cool stamp set and things, and we've got more in the shop if you're interested. But until next time, keep crafting and have a great day. Please leave me some comments. I would love to have your feedback. Have a good one. Bye bye.